Good morning, it's the weekend, it's Saturday morning, it's 8 o'clock and we are going for coffee. It seems to have become a weekly thing, coffee and planning. Something exciting today, we are trip planning. Trip for 2019, it's really early days, but it's kind of been under discussion for a few months now where to go next. So we think we know where. But today we're doing some proper number crunching. This weekend is going to be a busy weekend. It's a full-on work weekend, which is why we're getting out earlier. I had hoped to have left already. But it's kit packing for me for the business next week. So it's going to be a full-on all-day work, all-day evening work, and the same for tomorrow. I need to sort some meal planning out. I haven't really planned anything, so everything needs to be quick and easy this weekend. So we're just heading out the door now. It's a nice sunny day today. Feels like summer again after storms yesterday. Did you know we had hail yesterday?
Yeah, thunderstorm as well.
Yeah, I know, but did you know it hailed as well? This is how every trip planning session starts. Books, stationery, iPad and lattes and laptop. So we're just researching, having a look, looking at various hotel prices and just really looking at the budget and working out how much this trip will cost based on real prices that we're finding online.
Taking a look, they're coming up in October. Let me just remove that.
We're just having a look at flights based on this year's dates, obviously, because next year's aren't available. Just having a look and comparing to see what prices are like and how many miles we would need to use as well, just for a bit of research. We are home after our coffee. We had a really good start to our trip planning, actually. I'm really excited. I know probably to most people it sounds so far away. It's just over a year away, but when you're planning a big trip and there's a lot of money involved, you need to be organized. You need to look into things and budget. For us, we'd already worked out the cost of our flights, how many miles we use. We do save a lot of money because we collect miles throughout the year. That makes a huge difference to our trip planning and our budgeting. I think because we've done this so many times now as well, I'm really good at finding the best prices, and I've got like a little set pattern, so I know the cost of our car hire, I know the cost of our flights now. This kind of trip is going to be much cheaper than a Florida trip because we don't have the huge great big park tickets costs, which is really nice. So we have a set amount for money that we set aside for our food each day, and I'm really good, or we are really good, we always come on well under budget for that. We also it's now like booking hotels, so that's what we're looking at now. And it's working out then how long because we're doing a road trip again, it's working out how long we want to stay in what area. I have just found a really good price for our first 2 nights. We weren't sure whether we were going to be staying in this destination. I'm not giving away quite yet where we're starting the road trip or where exactly it's going to be until we've booked flights and we know it's definitely happening. But one thing I would say and recommend is that you book places with free cancellations. I've got a free cancellation policy on this right up until the day before we actually stay there. I've just booked, paid for, yes, I've just booked it, by the way. I've just paid the first night as a deposit. It's fully 100% refundable, and this is the start now of the road trip planning. So it's quite exciting, but I like that feeling. If things go wrong, God forbid, if anything really bad were to happen, like my business, something bad happens, or Aid loses his job, we can cancel everything and get a full refund. That's another reason I like to save miles, for example, and book our flights with miles. We only pay the taxes on our flights, but everything is 100% refundable, miles and money on flights. So again, if anything were to happen, I know that we get our money back, and the same goes with the hotel accommodation. So the first 2 nights are booked. And that's how we plan our road trips. And we're now we've started making lists of the locations where we would like to stay and what we want to do around those areas, so that we know how many nights we want to stay where. I don't want to have that regret of either one, having too many nights booked in an area and not enough to do, or two, actually wishing we'd stayed longer in an area. So there is a lot of research, which again is why we book so far in advance, and I love it. I don't want to rush it. It feels like my hobby, and like I said, by doing it so far in advance, it's so much easier to work on your budget, and you know exactly how much money you need to set aside each month. I don't do things last minute. I like to research. I really enjoy it, and for us, this is the best way we plan our road trips. I'm now going to head back to my work table and start working on kits. It needs to be a full weekend of kit creating. Aid's helping me out this weekend as well. He's currently doing lots of trimming on my desk for me, of papers and things, and I'm going to get back to the treat bag packing.
Sorry.
Leftovers are my absolute weakness. So I'm packing the treat bags. We're actually both on the table working and watching vlogs of where we're planning to go on our road trip next year. And I've also got my trip planning book so I can make notes at the same time. Seen a couple of things come up in vlogs now, and I'm making notes whilst watching. It's Sunday, it's after midday now. I've got a bit of a headache. Aid's just been rubbing my head for me. We've been packing papers in the other room, but now the football's on, so I'm going to take the opportunity to film a video that I need to get done for tomorrow. It's a little bit late. So I'm about to film a creative video. We have just booked the car hire for our trip next year. What I really like, because obviously we haven't booked flights at this stage, so we're not 100% on dates. It's fully flexible. I highly recommend this car hire company for the States. I don't know if he does other places other than the States. I think he might. It's a company called Discount, is it Florida Discount Car Hire? I don't know, I need to go and check. Discount Florida Car Hire. I will leave the link below. And basically his prices are amazing, and Andy's customer service is also amazing. We used him for the first time. My friend Lisa recommended the company. Alamo and Avis were coming up so expensive when we were looking for car hire last year. It was like over £2,000 for the trip. I think Alamo may have even been £2,500. And basically Andy explained that they just suddenly started this, both Alamo and Avis, they were adding on a surcharge for July and August, and that's why it was costing over £1,000 what it usually would cost. And Andy got it us for, I think we paid $1,200 in the end, so I was so happy. His customer service was amazing, and the great thing is you still go through the main car hire company. So we still went through Alamo. It was as if I'd booked through Alamo direct, but without the, I think theirs would have cost me an extra £1,300 to have gone direct. I did the save time, which if you aren't familiar, you basically do all your paperwork at home, filling like your driving license and all that kind of thing. And when you're at the airport, you don't have to queue. You can just go direct to the garage and pick up your car. It's that easy. And then you don't also get all the people trying to sell you extra insurance. But I would highly recommend. We've just booked it. We have booked for next year, and I've got an amazing price again. It's about half the price of what I'd budgeted for, so I'm really happy. So the link is below if you need car hire. So the trip for next year is actually coming along really well. But now I'm gonna get on with this. It's a Disney craft video that I'm doing, and the video will be up at this stage, so I will link that up below for you as well. This is what I've just made, and that's the little tutorial that I've linked up below for you. So it's the end of the evening. I've just been planning my meals, And I've also quickly cleaned the bathroom, so I'm a step ahead for tomorrow being Monday. I did start filming my dinner process. I made homemade chicken Kievs for tea, and I ran out of space on my camera card halfway through making dinner, and my hands were all gunky and horrible, so I will save that for you and do them again for you another time. But today was more about the early stages of trip planning and all that kind of thing. I will link up the video below. This is the start of my new trip planning journal. I use a journal for every single trip that I plan, whether it be a Disney trip or a road trip, anything like that. I always start a journal, and right from the early stages of planning, so I will link that previous video up for you if you do have a trip coming up and you would like to see how I use my journals to help with my trip planning. That's really helpful. And I also forgot to say about the car hire. Another good thing about booking with Andy from Florida Discount Car Hire, did I get that the right way around? Which I've linked up below. You don't have to pay a penny. It's so good. I know with Alamo we usually pay up front. You don't have to, but it works out cheaper. I think you save something like 12%. With Andy, however, there is nothing to pay until nearer the time, and it doesn't work out any cheaper to do that, and you can change it. So like for us, we haven't actually booked our flights right now. It's really nice knowing that the car hire is booked, but we can change it. Or even, I know like my friend Lisa said that nearer the time it worked out cheaper, or she found it cheaper through him. His prices had actually dipped, and she was able to change it with him again at no extra cost. So if you've got a trip coming up, go and check out the car hire site. It's really, really good. I hope today has helped you if you are at the early stages of trip planning, and or trip planning in general, or just thinking about planning a trip. I hope you've enjoyed today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye.